NHL super agent Taylor Mackey joins us here on the line, who represents the hottest, most anticipated prospect in years. Taylor, give us the 411 on the kid here.
Hey, morning, James. Well, look, you may not believe this, but the kid's up here on Carter Lake.
What?
Playing pickup, yeah, with a bunch of other kids. Just, it's a beautiful day.
Pricey pond hockey you got going there.
Yeah, I suppose it is. But look, that's how much this kid loves the game, man.
Well, just safety first up there. Now,
of course.
I got to ask you, we've seen the scouting reports, we've seen the highlights, but we know about the player. But tell me more about the person. What's this rookie really like?
Yeah, sure, James. Let's begin by telling your listeners at home the kid's name.
better to talk about the upcoming Memorial Cup than a guy who's actually hoisted the trophy, Ray Ferraro. Does that conjure up some memories there for you?
Yeah, you bet it does. What an awesome time in your career. It's the most important games that you've played in your life, really, until that time. And now for most of these players, it'll be the biggest games they ever play. But there's also NHL scouts here. There's draft rankings on the line. This is a fantastic tournament to play in.
1983 has been a few years. You still remember the moment, though?
I do, because it turned out, as it turned out, rather, that's the only tournament we ever won. The only one I was ever on the winning side of.
Well, let's look at this year's edition, because one of the players that a lot of people... We are getting closer to puck drop for this Memorial Cup in Game 1 here. We bring Ray Ferraro back into the fold, and boy, the scout cams should be on full display tonight, won't they?
Yeah, there'll be a bunch of people wearing black jackets. That's what the scouts wear, and they'll be sitting up in the corners of the rink watching these players really closely. Now, they've got a book pretty much on every player by this point in the season, but these are critical games to watch how they'll play against the very best.
Absolutely phenomenal performance. And here to talk a little more about what we saw on the ice is Ray Ferraro. And Razor, I mean, what does that do for his draft stock?
Oh man, it'll put a rocket to it if he continues to play in this tournament like that. The scouts are going to get more and more interested, also a little more jittery, as they might have had a player slotted in a certain area of the draft. He plays like that, he's going to jump a couple of spots in the draft for sure. This is really an important start to the tournament for him.
Yeah, and this is where kind of all of a sudden the stocks kind of rise and fall here, right? I think there's no two ways about it. This is a very disappointing result, not only for the team, but for the youngster as well. I mean, there were a lot of expectations, him and a draft year coming up. I think there was just a lot into it, and I think sometimes you overthink these types of moments, and it has an impact where, you know, you put too much pressure, you put too much weight on your shoulders. He's a good hockey player, and wherever he ultimately gets drafted, he's going to have a fine career in the NHL. But I just think that this is one of those experiences. It's a learning lesson to just, you know, don't stress over what you can't control. Just go and play your game. He's going to be a fine player. But I think this week, clearly, I think the hype and the hoopla and probably just thinking about it too much just got the best of him and ultimately his team collectively, which is why they're off and out of the Memorial Cup earlier than they would have liked. All right, time for a quick break. We'll get Ray Ferraro's thoughts on what we've been seeing this week next. know, and again, you look at these lists, these draft lists, these scouting lists, they're subjective, you know, and I still think that he is going to be a great player in the National Hockey League. You know, whether his stock took a little hit here, whatever. You know, it's an off week, a couple of off games. The amount of times that I have seen him play all season long. And you know what, boys and girls? You know I've called a few of his games. You know, and to me, I look at these draft rankings, and this is total recency bias. I mean, case in point, look at the kid. You know, did he have a somewhat of a flat Memorial Cup performance? Yes. Yeah, I'll give you that. But for his draft stock and his draft ranking to take a hit as a result of that, I don't know. I wouldn't go down that road. Looking at the body of work and how many times I've seen him play over the course of the season, I'll tell you what, if he's going to fall, it's going to be a steal. It's going to be an absolute steal, and I think some teams that ultimately pass on him are ultimately... How about this sort of nugget that comes out over the weekend, that the kid had a lengthy interview with the Ottawa Senators, and with the Senators pushing hard with the youth movement, boy, this might be a perfect fit for him to step in, possibly get more playing time, and maybe make a quicker jump to the next level than initially anticipated. But the Senators said to be in play, and I'm told that the conversation was very well received by both parties on that one. How about some of the other nuggets that we picked up over the weekend from the Combine? The St. Louis Blues were said to interview the kid, and when you look at that sort of veteran leadership already established with the organization, a place for a young player to fit in, what a great place to marinate, learn, develop for a team that has now established a strong winning tradition in recent years, where they have become really one of the model franchises of the last several years in the NHL. So the Blues, a team to watch, and could be a great fit for the kid going forward. Hey, what else is a great fit right here on this show? I'll tell you what, if you're looking for a late selection in the draft, and if you want to find kind of a diamond in the rough, I'm going back to this kid. And I would jump all over him. I think his stock obviously took a hit, but he was talked about, he was hyped up for a reason. There are abilities to this kid that if you could land him late, this would be, in my opinion,